And it's like, I always tell people, if no one thinks you're crazy, you're not yet operating to the outer limits of your potential. You're not there yet.
Hey, man, listen, the better you get, the easier it gets. See, right now, the phase you in is called growing pains. And what you don't even realize is that the game is trying to test you right now, trying to see how bad you want it. You think the game going to reward people who can't handle hardship and adversity? No, that's not how it works. The grind ain't meant to be easy. That's why you're going to appreciate it so much when you get through it.
No, you're out running on a track, working out, and you start talking to yourself saying, man, my knee is really sore right now. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I need to back off. You know, man, my lungs are burning. And maybe I can just slow down here. I'll do like an extra 2 sets tomorrow. You know, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of stuff.
Yes.
Like that stuff's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's, you just got to say, you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself.
Yeah.
The deal was already made. Deal was made. When I set out at the beginning of the summer and said, this is the training plan I'm doing, I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. You know, throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, maybe if we, nope. No, it's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You want to become best. You want to become champion. And now you want to say, like, you're tired. Who cares? You're tired or not? Nobody cares. He was tired. He had personal problem, family. Nobody cares.
What's the least amount of sleep you played a game on?
No
Is
sleep.
there a story where it's like, you know, no one knows about, where you went and played a game and it was so insane for whatever reasons?
No sleep.
You played a game with
no sleep. Zero sleep. Zero sleep. It's like, you know, kids, you know, Natalia had a certain, you know, health situation or what have you, and you're staying up all night, and then you got to go out and perform because fans don't know, you know, teammates don't know, nor do they care, nor should they, that you've been up all night. You got to perform. Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And they'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like, I never did that.
Why not? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more.
There's 24 hours in a day where you're alone in this brain, and your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways, and it wants to control you, pull you in these different pockets. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to get there. If you can't control your own brain, it's over.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap. That's just you rooting for you. The path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
The superpower of learning to be alone and enjoying it. These times where you just think about things, just be alone and think about things, are so rare these days. During those rare times is when you really get to understand what you actually believe or don't believe.
If you don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You'll never get the job, never get the part, never get the girl if you don't show up. If you show up, you put yourself in a situation to create those opportunities. And when you show up, how far do you go? That's the faster the opportunity will come to life for you. It's up to you guys. Small down payment that you're willing to pay every day to the large investment of a greater life. You only got one life, guys. You work it right. You only need one.
Just shut up and let me enjoy this pain. I don't want anything to numb it. I don't want anything right now.
There was probably 100 days where I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to stay in the pool or stay in my bed and not get out. But those were the days where you have to get up and do something, because I think that's really what separates the good from the great. The greats do things when they don't always want to do them.
You know, when you're kind of addicted to it, you can play at any time.
Nobody cares. You know, at the end of the day, nobody cares what we're going through, how your body feels. Nobody cares. We gotta do our job.
Why do you think it says take the opportunity? It doesn't say receive the opportunity. Right. It doesn't say have the opportunity granted to you. It doesn't say get lucky with the opportunity. It says take the opportunity. You know what that means? That means you have to seize it. That means you have to take it. No one's going to give it to you.
You might think that bed's warm, feels all comfortable. You come here, you kill it, give it everything you have, leave it all here. The warmth you feel after that, second to none, man. Second to none. No sheet can provide that comfort for you. When you give it all here, guys, and you leave it all here, you at your weakest state, bottom of the barrel. What's about to happen? Your greatest triumph. You kill yourself on pride in here, leaving nothing to spare. What's going to come? The growth of opportunity.
Good morning, rise and shine. I'm happy that everybody is showing up this morning. Thank you all so much for tapping in and tuning in with Coffee and Crypto. Today's episode is going to be very thorough, you know what I mean? And I think y'all are going to definitely enjoy it. Appreciate you so much. But this is going to be one heck of a show today. As you can see on YouTube, it is entitled Hedera, HBAR, right? The real Ethereum 2.0. We're going to talk about it today. You know, I believe that, you know, the upgrade to Ethereum and the 2.0 upgrade actually, I don't think that it was actually done really with Ethereum, but I do believe that the real upgrade to the, we'll just say the decentralized application network is Hedera Hashgraph, and kind of want to go through these things because you got to remember, right? The king of this space, right? The king of this space has been Ethereum for a very long time. Okay, who can agree with me on that, right? The king has been Ethereum for a very long time. Okay, and now that the meme coins and the NFTs and all that craze is going away with everything that we have going on right now, I believe that you all are going to see some things start to transform, and you're going to start to see decentralized applications start to run to the Hedera Hashgraph network. So really excited to show you guys what's going on today's call. Okay. If you're live right now, just drop what city and what state you're calling in from. Just let me know what city and state you're tuning in from. That's always important to see kind of where the growth is going on our Zoom and on our YouTube channel. So definitely, okay, the show. Okay. Atlanta's always in the building. All right. We always deep. So first things first is we want to take a look at the market. Okay. And we are about 2.49% up on the current market. Okay. We're about 2.49% up on the current market. We're up to $2.71 trillion market. We have a $73 billion 24-hour volume. You can see that ETH is not dominant, but Bitcoin is dominant, right? If we pay attention to these numbers up at the top, we can see that we're still at a 24 fear. So we're in a good time to be into, you know, purchasing some of these altcoins potentially, right? So I'm not here to tell you to do that, but I am here to tell you to make sure that you do your research. And today we're going to be extremely bullish and extremely heavy on Hedera Hashgraph, on HBAR. Okay, as you all can see, I marked this up as my load up zone, and I showed this on my trading call within our Discord group. And we've come down and we've now tested this and went back up. So we now have a new zone for HBAR. Okay, it's going to be between these two levels right here. Okay, so we now have a new zone. So all we got to do is really just watch the zone, right? Let it get in the zone and just watch what is absolutely happening with HBAR. But we are on overall a downtrend on HBAR, and you know, I believe that we could potentially see as low as a 10 to an 8 cent HBAR. And I've explained to you all why I have that bold prediction for it to come back down to that level, and that will be an even greater load up zone. Okay. Next up, we have the FDIC, and this is something that came out on March 28th. Okay, the FDIC clarifies the process for banks to engage in crypto-related activities. Okay. So this is extremely huge, right? This is extremely, extremely important. Okay. And why is it important? Because the FDIC before has had clause where they were not, pushing and establishing the proper laws that we need to be put in place for the banks to be able to get into crypto. And the reason why they didn't do it is because we didn't have an administration. Now that we have the administration that is pushing it, right? Now we start to see things like this directly on the FDIC's website. So now they are opening up the gates for banks to hold crypto and to be able to protect your assets that's sitting inside of these banks. So for those people that don't want to have cold storage wallets, which y'all know my take on that, but if you don't want to actually have a cold storage wallet, then this actually could be a big deal for you. Okay. I'm going to play this quick video right here. It's a 29-second clip. And then we'll talk about it. Pay attention.
The Biden administration just hammered the American people with regulations. And tomorrow I'm dropping a bill called the Financial Freedoms Act. And it allows families and individuals to invest their retirement funds into crypto. Now, President Trump has become the crypto president. And we want to help him with this. This would be something good for everybody. Diversify. It's a free country. Do what you want with your money. But the Biden administration, they didn't want anything to do with crypto. The Biden administration just hammered them.
All right. So we just talked about that, right? The administration, the Biden administration, what this means, right? So think about it. To all the DeFi warriors out there, right? This is the deepest liquidity pool. If you don't know about LPs and how they work, you can't ask for more stability than this. If retirement funds, 401ks, IRAs, pensions are now permitted to buy Bitcoin and ETH and tokenized assets, think of the on-ramp that just been created, 340 million Americans. So now we have a direct on-ramp with this actually starting up, right? So the first thing I want to do is I kind of want to speed up and I want to play a quick video. Okay. And this is from Dr. Lehman Baird, who is the CEO of Hedera. Pay attention.
Hedera's community here is building trust in ways that we just don't see other places. And this is our purpose, is to build trust. And I mentioned one of those ways is DREC, decentralized recovery. We have to have this. In every area of our life, we have safety nets. If you lose your password to your bank account, I guarantee you can get access to your money someday. Maybe you go through the recovery process. Worst case, you walk into the bank and have to do something. Maybe you even have to go to the court system, but you will eventually get back to your money. If you lock yourself out of your car, there are locksmiths that can come get you in. You lock yourself out of your house, worst case, you can put a brick through the window and get back in. But there is always some kind of safety net. And now, as we bring the Web3 world, the VLT world, out to the real world, the rest of the planet, they're expecting to have a safety net. And I get emails that say, hey, I lost my 24 words. Could you please generate another 24 for me so I can get my stuff? Yeah, about that. See, this is the problem. What we're doing is different from every other part of their life. And so when they lose something, they just assume, well, of course, we'll use the safety net. That has to be there. No, it doesn't have to be there. Unless we do the effort, there won't be a safety net. And people lose enormous amounts just because they forgot their password or they lost their mnemonics or whatever. So DREC is bigger than Hedera. This is across our industry. We have got to make it easy for you to back up your keys and your passwords and passkey information and identity information. Anything you have that is secret. Your grandmother's recipe for chocolate chip cookies. If you want to keep that secret, we can make it help you keep it secret. And the idea is that you have it secret, but then you share it with helpers, pieces of it with the helpers. And that if you ever lose your secret, half of them can come together and help you recover. That's the idea. We have a few little wrinkles that are incredibly important. One of which is that your device needs to go talk to their devices every day and say, hey, do you still have that piece of a secret that I gave? If they lose it, it's no big deal. I'll just go get another helper. I'll get them to I'll give it to them again. But if I didn't know they lost it, then slowly all my helpers, all my friends and family or whoever might lose what I'm giving them. And then when I finally need it, I wouldn't have it. So other people have talked about systems like this, but this one is important in that it is recoverable because you're checking every single, we're just making it easy to use and it's being built into ledgers. It's being built into banks and credit unions. It's being built into wallets that are managing your accounts, and it can just be useful across the world. This is what we need. Hedera's
You heard what he said. It's being built into everything, banks and credit unions. And y'all know how bullish we are on our credit union use case, right? If you guys have been inside of our Discord group, man, we have been calling some pretty solid plays for a very long time. Okay, so really exciting to see Dr. Lehman Baird getting on stage and just talking that talk, right? So when you go to Hedera's website, okay, there's a reason why, this becomes one of my favorite, investment opportunities out there. Okay. They talk about everything. And as you can see, the new use case for decentralized applications is going to be RWA, tokenization. So a lot of the things that you're seeing that's being built on Hedera actually have real world use cases, real estate, stable coins, right? CBDCs, cross-border payments, remittances, everything, financial assets, everything is going to be tokenized. And I believe that Hedera is going to do extremely amazing numbers. Now, if I go over to a platform called DeFi Llama, okay, and if you all never heard of that, you might want to look into DeFi Llama. But this is a great way to be able to see and to compare what's happening in the DeFi space, right? So I'm going to go over to chains, and we want to look at the total value locked in all chains. Ethereum obviously is number one. It's been number one forever when it comes to that. Okay. And then when we scroll down, all right, as you can see, Hedera is pretty low on the list, right? It's number 44. And then right underneath that is XRPL, which is number 45. How? With all of the technology that these technologies do, how are they not at the top? And it's very simple, because they're not being utilized yet. So as we see these companies start to utilize Hedera and these partnerships really start to take off, I believe we're going to see some explosive things actually start to happen on the main net and, with the actual investment opportunity. Hedera, for the ones that don't know, is governed by some of the world's largest organizations. That means that they vote, and anything that needs to be passed has to go through this governing council, which is extremely important because these are the largest companies in the world, right? These companies have already been successful. They're going to continue to be successful, and they see the vision of blockchain. So they're like, man, we can't get left behind. They've done their research. They're like, who's the best network out there? And as you can see, these companies have been able to build on Hedera, which is extremely bullish because all of these companies have their own applications and things like that, right? So I believe we're going to start to see decentralized applications start to roll out on these companies for different use cases. And what do you think those are going to be built? Well, my guess would actually be Hedera. Okay. Now, CoinDesk article features HBAR HashSphere. HashGraph sees Q3 debut for Hedera-based institutional private blockchain. Okay. HashSphere is designed to allow highly regulated institutions such as payment providers and asset managers to transact stable coins and tokenize assets. So this new company right here, HashSphere, aims to bridge private and public distributed ledgers, providing services to asset managers, banks, and payment providers for secure, low-cost cross-border transactions, right? These things are already happening. We already know that, but I just kind of wanted to go over, right? I wanted to go over some of these things with you all so that you all can actually see what's happening, because sometimes we jump into the technology and I might show one thing, but for the new people, they're probably like, man, well, what's so special about HBAR? So I want to make sure that, when you get off this call today, you understand what is special about it. Another exciting announcement that's just happened is that they've joined the ERC 3643 organization association. And so I had to go and look that up because obviously there's an Ethereum logo here, ERC 3643. So I started to say, man, what is the ERC 3643 and what does it do? All right. So it is the standard on Ethereum for permissioned tokens. So when we talk about real world asset tokenization that's happening even on Ethereum, right? this is the protocol that allows for that to actually happen. So the token standard for RWA tokenization is this. It's an open source suite of smart contracts that enables the issuance, management, and transfer of permissioned tokens. This is extremely important. And I went to look at, their members. I wanted to see who kind of was a part of what they're doing. And, as you can see, WorldPay, which is a Hedera partner. You got HBAR Foundation, which again is Hedera. You got the DTCC, which is the Digital Assets Committee. You have what's you have? A lot of banks, Ava Labs, Tokenize, right? You can see what's going on. Tokenovate. And the list just keeps going on and on and on and on. All right. But just to go through some of this and just see, you got Singularity Network, IOTA, right? Chainlink. So it's so many companies that is, locked in to what they're doing. Even Ledger, right? The Ledger that you guys hold your tokens on, or your keys on, the cold wallet. There's so much in so many companies here that, I could continue. DLA Piper, which is a Hedera partner, right? So you can see a lot of Hedera partners. Bitstamp, which is a Hedera partner. So you can see that this association and the members of this are really trying to, push, because one of the biggest things is the EVM side chain. And the stronger that is, these companies can help strengthen that, because we still need Ethereum no matter what, right? You still need Ethereum. So I'm going to play another use case that's happening in Hedera through a company called Acor. I want you all to pay attention.
Let's take a specific example, working with the opioid data. So the thing to understand is that data, and really this is across the board in healthcare, is siloed already. It's by nature siloed. So it's decentralized. People don't say decentralized. That's a label we use, but really it is that. So that's a good starting point. But then the next thing, that if I'm talking to a C-level, the very first question is, how are you going to be secure? How is the system going to be validated? Well, the good news, if you're using DLT, particularly in a decentralized, because since the data is decentralized, we need to connect the data first in a provable way. Well, we can go to them and say, look, we could do decentralized data connection and use Hedera as a means of verifiability, but retain your existing secure HIPAA compliant system at rest. That's a whole lot better than moving all the data to the cloud. That's a really good starting point. And then the next thing from there is, okay, that's great. How do you lower my cost? Because it turns out moving data to the cloud and then running intelligence in the cloud is very expensive. And then we spoke a little bit about explainability and governance. But when you kind of address the existential issues of, can you remain compliant, HIPAA compliant, don't move the data, and lower my cost, that makes that conversation a whole lot easier. That's really what we do. And to give you a more specific example, with the counties are working with and cross-county, cross-state reporting of opioid data, budget is very, very important. The data remaining where it is very, very important. And don't share my data without telling me or without knowledge, as some kind of a regulatory framework, very, very important. So these are the kind of conclusions we're coming to the way we're going about it.
So this is a huge use case that's built on Hedera, healthcare data, decentralizing healthcare and taking care of that data. Mr. Jim Nasir is the CEO. They're actually found here in Atlanta. And I actually wanted to play this clip because you all will be hearing from Jim Nasir this month. I've already secured a interview with the gentleman, and he will be coming on for our next interview, one of our interviews in April. So really excited to hear about Acor and what they're doing, more about what they're doing and how they're building these use cases out. But I'm really excited about that particular interview because y'all know my background was in healthcare, okay, and this is something that's very close to me. I know a lot about HIPAA and just different things like that, and even having a public health background, it is I know that data is huge. It's always been huge, and one of the most attacked data out there is healthcare data. So this company is doing some big things. And you also have XRP Healthcare, right, over on the XRP ledger. So again, I don't think there's going to be one winner, but I do believe that the best of the best are going to stick around. Another huge announcement is that Hedera will be headed to the Paris Blockchain Week next week. One of the year's biggest events shaping the future of blockchain and Web3. This will be April 8th through the 10th in Paris, France. Okay, so if you make it out there, man, go check it out. I won't be able to make it because I have a lot of trips that I have to take over this next 2 months, like a couple trips. So this won't be something I could make, but if you do happen to go out there, make sure you guys take some content and send it to me so I can see, you know, what's going on. But this is going to be a huge, huge event. Paris Blockchain Week. It happens every year, and Hedera is a major sponsor for this event. So again, y'all, blockchain is continuing to grow. The word is getting out there. Okay. Another huge thing that's going on is this as well. I just want to show you all a lot of the updates that's happening, new use cases and new updates on Hedera that, you know, I've been able to uncover because I don't want to bring a whole lot of old news to you all on Hedera because we've already covered that. I want to make sure that the stuff that we're talking about is relevant to the times that we're in right now. Okay. So this is the best stuff that I could find so far to compound it together. All right, so what is that about, Vincent? Well, get ready for the Hedera AI Agents Hackathon. All right, with Hashgraph Online and HBAR Foundation, we're bringing together developers, innovators, and AI engineers to explore what's possible when AI and blockchain converge. So they're about to build some really cool use cases. Hedera is huge on hackathons. Ripple's huge on hackathons. You know, most of these chain and these networks are huge with their hackathons, and to see that Hedera is doing an AI hackathon in the middle of everything that we've seen them coming out with, working with NVIDIA and Dell and SpaceX and just, so many companies, y'all. And I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what's possible. So I'm going to play this quick video for y'all with the partnership between HBAR and NVIDIA.
As artificial intelligence continues to cement itself as a core part of the emerging digital economy, the lack of transparency in how AI models are trained, developed, and deployed presents significant risks, not only to enterprises, but to society as a whole. In order to address this critical challenge, Equity Lab, in collaboration with industry titans NVIDIA and Intel, has developed verifiable compute, the first hardware-based solution to govern and audit AI workflows using the blockchain. Verifiable compute introduces a cryptographic AI notary system that creates tamper-proof records of every data object and code computed during AI processes. This hardware-based approach ensures explainability, accountability, and security at runtime. The foundational trust layer of this solution is Hedera, creating a trusted, immutable ledger of AI computations. Every operation performed on compatible Intel CPUs and NVIDIA GPUs is recorded with precise timestamping, enabling auditable trails and smart contract orchestration across AI protocols. As AI integration deepens across finance, healthcare, media, and public sectors, this solution will establish new standards for transparent, verifiable AI systems, bringing unprecedented trust to our increasingly AI-driven world.
Do y'all see what's going on here? You know, do you see what's going on here? Do you see the future right before your eyes, right? So these were some of the updates that I had on Hedera, some of the interesting things. I really love how they are embracing, I really love how they're embracing the AI market. I really love how, you know, they are working this thing the best that they possibly can. because I think it's extremely important, right? To be developing on the back end, the things that's happening on the front end. Okay. So what I want to do is, it's really all the slides I had for today. I told you all it was going to be a shorter podcast in regards to the content that I had. There was not a whole lot of just like unbelievably bullish information out there that I've been able to find. And maybe I missed some things. I don't know, but I think I looked pretty thoroughly between today and yesterday and, whatever. But those are the most interesting things. And I was really trying to figure out what could we talk about on this show that could bring the masses that will find this based on the title value, right? A lot of people are hearing about Hedera, and I just want for my followers and the community and people to be up on game when it comes to this technology, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and you have one chance to get this right. And if you don't get this right, it's not the end of the world, but you did miss a pretty simple and easy bag that was right in your face. Okay. So I want to open up the line to anybody who is a Hedera owner. And I'd love for you all to come up and just kind of share your experience with Hedera, your thoughts with Hedera. Why do you like Hedera? If you own some HBAR, what's your favorite part? I'm really enjoying learning about the staking features and the lending features through different DeFi protocols. I really do am enjoying that a lot, actually very thoroughly. Okay, so I'm going to call on Zatrick so he can talk about his favorite parts about Hedera, because we have so many people who have been studying this technology, and you guys are right here on the call, and I want your voices to be heard because number one, I want your voices to be heard because I want people to know that when they come inside of our Discord group, it's not just Vincent that knows this information. It's not just Vincent that's doing this, right? But it is a conglomerate, and they can join this family and be a part of this opportunity before it takes off this year. Okay, so thank you all for raising your hand and just sharing your thoughts. I'm going to call on Zatrick first.
Yo. What's up, my brother? Really, I love Hedera. Actually, I do want to give a shout out. You are the one that originally told me about Hedera. And it was about probably 2-3 months ago. It was one episode, man. I think you was mentioning like Norati, and it was the bags and this and that. I'm like, yo, Hedera sounds like a first round draft pick to me.
Right.
And ever since I got in, I have been staking. And then I love the things that's being built on top of Hedera as well. The bank socials, the Tune FMs. There's also some other projects on there, the pack and the hash pack. When you do transactions on there, they give you that. Staking is very cool to me because, who doesn't love free money? I've been staking for a couple months and I truly enjoy it. And then most importantly, it's still new. And they had a HederaCon. I was trying to go to HederaCon. If they're willing to have it's one thing for a crypto company to just be out in the crypto world, but when you have a conference, that means you want people to come. And the tickets were free. They didn't charge nobody. They just wanted you to come to learn about Hedera.
Right.
And if they're willing to do that, then that is very important. And then the best part is they're working with NVIDIA. To me, NVIDIA is the best. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a company, I've actually mentioned it on this call before, how NVIDIA has signed with Sound, and Sound went from $2 to $24, and then NVIDIA pulled out. So NVIDIA hasn't pulled out of HBAR. So I pay attention to who NVIDIA is rocking with, and the fact they're still rocking with HBAR is a great sign to me, and I stand by that. So yeah, man.
Yep. Amazing. Thank you, Zatrick. Appreciate that. Billy.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Billy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got my birthday hat on today. I had my sobriety birthday on the 29th. I got that morning hair thing going on. Sorry about that. But I realized I'd been clean for 36 years. Can you believe that?
Wow.
All that money could have gone to.
Hello? You still there, Billy? Right when he was cooking up. Right when Billy was cooking.
Yep. All right. So you can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't have my Bluetooth on. But yeah, man, I could have bought police cars and police warrants and stuff instead of Hedera. If I just kept partying on them like the big boys. But instead I put a little money in HBAR. Look, you can get on an HBAR website and find all kind of things to get involved in. And I was asking Nasu last night about the HBAR options, and we were talking about putting it. I said, "You have a hashpack wallet?" He said, "No, he just keeps it on his ledger." And I was thinking, well, you can keep it on your ledger. You could keep it in a hashpack. You can download some DeFi.
Connect
You can
ledger
do
to
some.
hashpack.
Huh?
You can connect your ledger to hashpack.
Right.
For extra layer of security.
So there's a lot of places you can learn about not only just learning about Hedera, but the plays on it, the extras. It's kind of like going to the pizza house and get you a pepperoni, and then decide to put a little onion on it, a little bell pepper on it, so you can stack it up, get some extra cheese. It's extras that you can get for staking. And I don't know how many, some of those people that you just scanned about the other companies that are involved, you can stake them against the other companies.
Seriously.
Yeah. And I really wanted to buy some at 16 cents, and I did. And I'd love for it to go back down to 8 cents. That'd be great. That'd be great. 16 is really good. It's just amazing, what is it, 40 cents about a month ago?
Yeah, man.
That's, I just,
all the way up there.
It really doesn't seem like anything. It seemed like things were in place, but things weren't really in place. It's like we were seeing what Hedera was doing, and it's been doing it all these years, but now it's more elaborate on its utility, and it's going down.
Yep.
I told my wife yesterday that I really didn't want to buy any more XRP because it just didn't really kind of make sense to me, in a sense. I just kind of wanted to buy. I've been looking at Flare. Flare is what? That's pretty damn cheap. You could buy a lot of them for $25. It's just $25 a week could get you somewhere in 3 months. You just have, and you can stake Flare. It's just so much to do. There's really not enough time to do it. What are you going to do? You're going to just buy Bitcoin and be burnt out, or
right?
You're going to buy something to make you a millionaire.
Exactly.
Buy something because your friends want to do it. Buy something because I see my friends at church, and I said, Jerry, come on, let me talk. Come here just a minute. Let's get you started in some crypto. Oh no, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. And one of them says, one friend told me he ain't into it, and he ain't never gonna get into it. I'm thinking, no. Your bank's gonna help you get into it without you getting into it, and you'll be in it before you know it, and won't know shit about it.
Exactly. Won't know how to protect it. Won't know how to go get it for yourself. Nothing. So it's a very important time we're in. All the information that we have, it really gives us the confidence that we're investing. And, you know, I do want to say that if you all, you know, if you really do need help, you know, there's some people sitting on the Zoom, there's some people sitting on the YouTube channel. There's some people that's going to see this later on through the recording. And I just want to challenge you all. You know you don't have your stuff in order, I've created this boot camp for you all. I talk about this boot camp all the time. It's my Crypto Go 6-week boot camp, where I literally take you from A to paid, okay? From start to paid, okay? And the reason why I know that this works is because I have people that are giving me amazing reviews that's in it now. That was in the last one, that was in the one before that, was in the one before that. I've gotten amazing reviews, and a lot of you all have taken the boot camp, and I've watched your growth. You know, I've watched, you know, where you are today and how you've grown. And I just want to say congratulations, you know. So if you all are interested, truthfully, you know, if you want to join our next boot camp, the next boot camp is April 28th through June 2nd. The price is $19.97. Yes, it went up. Okay, price did go up. However, I am running a promo for the next 5 people. I have 5 links that I can afford to do, where you'll be able to get $1,000 off, which takes your total to $997. So think about it. Less than $1,000. $997. That is less than $1,000. So less than $1,000 to learn, you know, 3 figures to learn a 7+ figure skill set, you know. And all you have to do is just be patient and do every single thing I tell you to do. You know, you get inside of our Discord group for free for the 6 weeks, so you can check out our community and decide if you want to stay. You know, we have weekly calls. We meet every Monday for this particular boot camp, right? And this is the easiest way that I know of to be able to help a person literally get to the bag and stay in their bag. So if anybody's interested, just wanted to throw that out there. If you all are interested, because you know I got to promote. So if you are interested, you can send me boot camp to lock in one of those 5 positions. And all you got to do is send a deposit. You don't even got to pay the full $99.97 today. Just have to send a deposit. And it's going to, my number is 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. Okay. Looking forward to seeing you all. Reach out to me. Looking forward to having the new cohort of students joining us in April. Well, it's April now, at the end of this month. And we're looking forward to serve you. Okay. We go through everything: DeFi, wallets, ledgers, you know, I mean, just any and everything. We go through everything that you could possibly imagine, and probably more. So again, we love to have you. If you are interested, you can text me again at that phone number. One more time, it is 678-460-6504. And just text me boot camp. That way I know what you're texting for, and I will give you a call directly, personally, and we will get you set up. Okay, we'll get you set up for this next boot camp. Definitely don't think you want to miss it. All right. So I want to say thank you to everybody who did come up, and Billy and Zatrick for coming up and sharing their thoughts on HBAR and just their thoughts on the space. I'm very grateful to be able to lead this ship, and I believe we're headed in the right direction. And y'all already know. Until next episode, I hope that you all have a very prosperous April. We are now in the 3rd quarter, and no, that's not an April's Fools. This is not an April's Fools. This is the real thing. We are in the 3rd quarter now. So don't be a fool. Get locked in immediately to this stuff so that we can take it to the next level. I love each and every single one of y'all, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the beaches and the banks